So the world expert is convinced that the vital inscription is genuine, clearing the name of Willy Pepe. But now, a deeper mystery emerges. According to Harry Falk, the script used for the inscription didn't exist when the Buddha died. And the only comparable urns are from long afterwards, too.
So, Harry, you are confident that this urn contained the remains of the Buddha, but it does not date from the time of the Buddha. It dates from about a century and a half, perhaps after the Buddha. Would you agree with that?
This is absolutely correct, yes.
So how can it be that an urn that claims to have contained the remains of the Buddha was made at least 150 years after he died? The answer to that question lies back in time, around 2,300 years before Pepe made his find, at the time of the Buddha himself. How did an ordinary man of flesh and blood start a world religion? How and where did he die? And how might his remains have ended up in the tomb Pepe found?
These are some delightful paintings of the Buddha, the life of the Buddha, which you see depicted in Janakpuri folk art. And when you look at images like this, it's very hard to remember that this is a real person. But the fact is, the Buddha was a real person of flesh and blood. In fact, we know as much about him as we know about Jesus Christ, or indeed the Prophet Muhammad. He lived in the Gangetic Plains in the 5th century BCE. He was probably born about 500, and he probably died about 410 BCE.
The Buddha was born in Lumbini, not far from Viprava. He was raised a royal prince, but in his early 30s, he fled the luxury of the palace and witnessed human suffering, old age, illness, and death for the first time. When he saw an old hermit at prayer, he rejected his former life and became a hermit himself. For 6 years, he led a life of extreme denial, earning himself a new name, Sakyamuni, holy man of his own clan, the Sakyas. Then he came to the place that would bring him to enlightenment, Bodh Gaya. When Buddha first came here, it was nothing but trees and jungle. But over the centuries, Bodh Gaya has grown into a great holy site, as sacred as Mecca or Jerusalem.
It's really very humbling to think that this, for millions and millions of Buddhists, this is the center of their universe. And that there are people here from Tibet, from China, from Burma, from Thailand, from Sri Lanka, and indeed foreigners from the West as well. And there's a very real sense of spirituality here, which I find very, very moving. This is the epicenter of the Buddhist faith. And of course, everyone knows of Bodh Gaya, but whoever has heard of Piprava? And yet it could be hugely significant within the world of Buddhism.